Hello, Coolers, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories. We start with this transfer report claiming that Barcelona are favoring a move for Ngolo Kante of Chelsea to reinforce the defensive midfield. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then to conclude this episode, talking about Barcelona loanee Nico Gonzalez, who is now at Valencia, it has been reported that Barcelona have no option to unilaterally recall the loanee in January. We are also going to be discussing about that. So guys, before we get right into the stories in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch right up to the very end. Barcelona are in the hunt for a new DM. The decline of Sergio Busquets has been quite telling this season, with the midfielder failing to establish himself as a leader of the team's second line of press, struggling with lack of consistency. It was reflected in his performance against Inter Milan earlier this season. With his contract expiring at the end of the season, Barcelona have to enter the market for a replacement for the pivot position. The club have been linked with moves for Ruben Neves of Wolves and Martin Zubimendi of Sociedad in the recent past. However, according to a report from Albert Roche, Barcelona are favoring a move for Ngolo Kante. The Chelsea midfielder has emerged as the favorite for Barcelona's coaching staff in their bid to find a long-term replacement for Busquets next season. Kante has been a subject of interest for many clubs across Europe this season, especially with his current contract expiring at the end of the season. Although Chelsea are in talks with the player over a new deal, nothing has been reached just yet. This has put Barcelona on red alert. FC Barcelona are considering a move for Ngolo Kante next summer, knowing he could be available on a free transfer. The report claims that there is a larger consensus within the club on Kante than on someone like Ruben Neves, with whom the sporting staff still have doubts about his suitability in the team. Kante offers loads of experience at the highest level of football and has a track record of winning not only the Premier League and the Champions League, but also the FIFA World Cup. His experience and ability to perform at the highest level could make him an invaluable asset for Barca. However, luring Kante away from Stamford Bridge might not be straightforward. As mentioned earlier, the player is currently in talks with the Premier League giants over a new contract, while Barcelona may also face competition from a host of other clubs across Europe. Furthermore, if Barca wish to sign him in January, they would also need to pay a fee, while also deal with the matter that he is currently injured. So there is a lot to be considered before Barcelona can make a decision on their pursuit of Ngolo Kante. Of course, Busquets will leave the club at the end of the season. There's no question about that. His contract comes to an end this season. So all these days we have been getting reports of DMs being the priority for Barca. And I always ask myself, we have Frankie de Jong in our squad, right? And when Frankie de Jong, whenever given the opportunity to play, he does well. He does a great job. And definitely he's a different kind of DM from Busquets. And from the look of things, Barca don't care about that. Barca want a player of their Busquets kind of, I don't know, but what Frankie de Jong gives is still brilliant. But Barca still don't care. They want a new DM. We all know about the fact that Barca were trying to push Frankie de Jong last summer. There was no, in fact, it was not a secret. And it doesn't surprise me that Barca want to look for another DM when Busquets leave. Of course, when Frankie de Jong came to the club, many saw him as the replacement, the long-term replacement for Busquets. But that is not the case anymore, as Barca just see him as a midfielder and they can sell anytime they want because they don't value him, for which I don't think is correct. So all these days we've been talking about different names who have been linked to Barca in that DM role. Barca's first choice was Martin Zubimendi, even though he has extended his contract with Real Sociedad. Ruben Neves has been now the most talked about, and now we're talking about Ngolo Kante of Chelsea. Of course, personally, I wouldn't go for Ngolo Kante. He's not the Ngolo Kante of the past, and also his injury records recently is not that good. And I think he's 31 years already, so I don't think it for me sportingly it's not the best decision, or it's not the best replacement for Busquets. At the end of the day, if they could entrust Frankie de Jong in that role, there should be no problem. Or they think that Frankie de Jong's own way of playing the DM is not the way Barca's philosophy is, which for me makes no sense. So let's see who they go for, because from the look of things, they must buy a DM, because even the sporting director have always been talking about that. So in the January we can expect a new DM coming, or in the summer, you know, because they want to ensure that when Busquets leave the club, then they have a suitable replacement there. I don't know who they'll go for, but reports started coming out yesterday that Kante is now being favored, as the first choice for that DM role. But I don't think that is a good idea. That is not a good idea. If we're talking about a long-term replacement for an urgent player like Busquets, we can't still be going for a player in his 30s of Ngolo Kante. Had it been was Kante when he was still young in Leicester City, or going to, it's not right now. I don't think right now is the ideal time that we go for Kante. I think there are other players. If Barca think that they don't want to use Frankie de Jong, okay, they should go for other players younger than Kante. Then on to the next story of discussion. Earlier this month, there had been a lot of speculations surrounding Barcelona midfielder Nico Gonzalez, who is currently out on loan at Valencia. The 20-year-old La Masia graduate left Camp Nou for the Mestalla in the summer window in search of regular game time, as there was an overload of midfielders in the Barca squad. However, Nico has failed to feature prominently for Valencia under their new manager, Gennaro Gattuso. While he has played in 10 of Los Che's 11 La Liga matches so far, only 4 have come from the start. It has led to concerns within the Barcelona camp, with reports suggesting that the Catalan Giants were considering recalling the Spaniard back from his loan spell at Valencia in the January transfer window. However, according to Mundo Deportivo, the loan agreement between Barcelona and Valencia does not include any clause that would allow the Blaugrana to unilaterally terminate his spell midway through the campaign unilaterally. The only way that the 20-year-old could return to Spotify Camp Nou in the winter could be if the two clubs sit down and negotiate an early termination of the loan agreement. However, that is an unlikely prospect, as Gattuso has previously made it clear that Valencia intend to keep Nico at the club until the end of the season. In addition to that, there is no clause stipulating that Nico needs to play a fixed number of games for Valencia either, meaning that the manager can use the La Masia product as he sees fit. So as things stand, there is little chance for the midfielder returning to Barca in January. Barcelona will face Valencia today at the Mestalla in the evening, but Nico will not be involved in that game due to the presence of the fair clause in the loan agreement that prohibits Valencia from using him against his parent club, Barcelona. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.